Do 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 do.
I'm your host, sabrinasalvati. I'm your host, sabrinasalvati. I'm your host, sabrinasalvati. I'm your host, sabrinasalvati.
All right. Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sabby Sabs podcast. I'm your host, sabrinasalvati. If you're new, I do want to let you guys know that Sabby Sabs podcast is a part of Revolutionary Blackout Network. You can catch me there once a month for the RBN Roundtable, and you can catch me here on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I want to give a shout out to everyone watching on YouTube, Rockfin, Twitter, and Rumble. And what is going on, guys? Welcome back. Tonight, the gloves come off. The gloves, they come off. Pow. Gloves are off, ladies and gentlemen. I was wondering if this was going to happen, and it has happened. And I think you guys know what I'm all talking about. What I'm talking about. Tonight's theme is fired up. And I want you to ask yourself, are you going to get fired up? Or is it that the subject that we're talking about should get fired up? Or is it a little bit of both? A little bit of both. We have a lot to discuss tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Quite a bit has happened in the first, I think the past 24 hours. Tim Pool has lost his damn mind. I talked about that a couple of days ago. He's still losing it. But now we have this gloves off moment with ERIKA KIRK and CANDACE Owens. So we wondered if this was going to happen, and now it is happening. So we have quite a bit to get into. I want to start off by giving shout outs to people in the chat. What is going on, fam? Hello. In the words of Lionel Richie, hello. Is it me you're looking for? Shout out. What's going on too? ST says, come on, Miss Sabs. Time for some thrash metal bashing. Greetings, Fafo. Hello, Sabby. Tim Pool and Nick Fuentes now refer to Candace Owens as a black B, black C. I hate that C word. And black scumbag. Black folks don't grift off white supremacy. Always fails. Yeah, everybody is losing it. They're losing their minds, ladies and gents. Shout out to Lauren says, we'll like to see your take on this, Sabby. We all knew she was going to respond soon rather than later. And Fox, of course, needed that energy for relevance. Yeah, I think they did too. What's going on? The one heat seeker. ERIKA is a weirdo. I don't give a yes, I think. What anyone says, she operates in a weird fashion. I don't know how else to put it. People are really trying to make this about Candace wishing she was Charlie's wife. I saw that part too. Yeah, man. Shout out to Frankly says Candace is the only one trying to get to the bottom of the assassination. You believe the narrative. If you believe the narrative, you are a fool. Greetings, Leo. The images are amazing. Nicely done. Thank you. Shout out to the You Truth. They must really think we're all dummies. Time is the greatest enemy of lies. Tick tock. Shout out to Brian, said those in position who know what you have to do. The pin is pulled. Let's go. Shout out to Flower, says seeing Candace go off on Princess Shabbat was priceless. Oh man, it's been brutal. It's been brutal. And there was an update today as well. We're going to add this all together. Shout out to Blockbuster, says hi. Greetings, Jane says ERIKA is just nauseating, from her ridiculous, unattractive Rapunzel hair to her vulgar bling bling outside rings to her cringeworthy public display crooning over her dead husband's body. Well, Jane, you have summed her up, huh? Jane was looking her up and down like, what is this? Okay. What is all of this? Shout out to Moo, says happy Thursday, everyone. I feel like so many right wingers go after Candace and it just makes her more popular in return. ERIKA was already shady, but doing this is going to backfire on her. Greetings, Cloudness, says happy Thursday, Sabby, and everyone in the chat. Shiznit is real. Hopefully we'll have call in tonight. B1. Yes, we are having call in tonight after the show. How can we not, right? There's a lot to talk about. Oh boy. Sure Christ says Candace is going max, and I'm excited that someone is kicking ass. Shout out to Randy, said good evening, Sabby and Revolutionary Blackout family. What is going on? Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. I wish I could say hi to everybody, but we do have quite a bit to get into. Again, tonight's theme is fired up. Are you fired up? Let's go ahead and give a shout out to Sabby patrons. Thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate your support, fam. Dun, dun, dun. If you are interested in being a Sabby patron, I have 5 categories. We have the ultimate, the Sabinators. There's the Sabsters. Yeah, don't forget about those Sabsters. They're cool too. We also have Sabbies, and they're pretty cool. Yeah. And last but not least, we have members. All of their names are listed here. And you can also see their names scrolling across the bottom of the screen on the ticker throughout the show. Thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate you. And I'll have to update the newbies list. I have a couple more people to add too, just didn't have time. It has been a busy day for me. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you, fam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and show you that thumbnail so you can see what we are discussing tonight. And yes, the theme again is fired up. That's why I'm wearing red. I'm wearing red. I'm wearing the fire engine red because we're all getting fired up around here, folks. So let's see what we are discussing. Let's go ahead and show that beautiful thumbnail. Yeah. Well, folks, it finally happened. Tonight, we are discussing ERIKA KIRK versus Candace Owens. Damn. You know, I wondered if this was going to happen. I wondered. ERIKA KIRK has finally spoken out against Candace Owens, and Candace has responded twice. And we're going to show you both of those responses. I'm going to give you my take on this, ladies and gentlemen. It's just really interesting to me. Really interesting. We're also going to discuss Miss Rachel Miss Rachel is being targeted. For those who are not aware who she is, Miss Rachel is a child educator. She also had a show called Miss Rachel. They are really coming after her. There's an organization called Stop Anti-Semitism, and they nominate people for this anti-Semitism award, people who are not anti-Semitic, but they do it anyway. These are people that are been, vocal about the genocide in Gaza. And Miss Rachel was one of the nominees for Anti-Semitism of the Year. We have an update about that because Miss Rachel is heavily targeted right now, and I don't feel like this is right. And we gotta get fired up for Miss Rachel. We're also going to discuss, if you haven't seen this, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump's economy is in the tanker. In the tanker, he had a recent rally in Pennsylvania. We're going to dive into that, where he claimed to brag about the economy. And of course, he's lying. He's lying, and it is not looking good for him. We're also going to discuss Diddy chaos. This Diddy documentary that has been released is causing a lot of problems. A lot of problems. We're going to get into that tonight, folks, because I have finished that documentary. And last but not least, I don't know if everyone heard about this story, but it's getting a lot of attention in the news circuit. A teenager from Oklahoma avoids jail after he had 10 felony charges. We're going to get into who he is, who his parents are, because that's important, and why this was able to happen. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the theme is fired up, and I want you to get fired up. If you haven't done so, please be sure to smash that like button. And if you're new, don't forget to like, sub, and share, just like a Care Bear. All right, let's go ahead and get into this first story, ladies and gentlemen. So Miss Rachel is kind of like a combination of Mr. Rogers and Blue's Clues, right? So she's a childhood educator who also has a show. And her show is Miss Rachel. And so she teaches kids, different things like how to sing, how to read, and she uses music a lot. She sings, all these different things. Probably one of the nicest people that you'll ever meet. Well, Miss Rachel has been the new target for this organization called Stop Anti-Semitism. And it has gotten so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that Miss Rachel now has to get security. This is insane. I want us all to get fired up for Miss Rachel. Let's go ahead and start here. Shout out to Mail Slayer. Never forget this. Stop Anti-Semitism targeted Miss Rachel after she spoke out against violence towards Palestinian children. This isn't the first time they've targeted her. This is the same organization that publicly shared a letter addressed to the Attorney General calling for a federal investigation into her. And Miss Rachel, this is her here with the Muppets from Sesame Street. Yeah, that's Miss Rachel. Very nice, very friendly. And she has made this list, this nomination here for Anti-Semite of the Year. And the top 10 finalists are Tucker Carlson, Miss Rachel, Guy Christensen, who a very prominent voice in the pro-Palestine movement, Marsha Cross, Bryce Mitchell, Cynthia Nixon, Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, Stu Peters, and Kala Walsh, who's also a pro-Palestine activist. So you guys look at this list of people and tell me if you think any of them are actually anti-Semitic, because I know that they're not. But this is where we're at now, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're at. And the problem with this organization in particular is that they're on a mission. They're on a mission to ruin people's lives. That's why they have these lists. So Miss Rachel, one of the reasons why she was targeted is because she brought this little girl onto her show. Her name is Raha. Miss Rachel has been declared Anti-Semite of the Year because she dared to humanize a Palestinian child that was dismembered by Israel. I want to show you here.
Let's go back to sleep, Rahaf. We're so tired. Let's go back to sleep, Rahaf. We're so tired. See the bunny sleeping till it's nearly noon.
And I won't play the music for the whole time because, you know, guys know how copyright works, but that's Miss Rachel there. And the young girl that she has with her is an amputee. She was injured in the Israel slaughter against the Palestinian people. That's why she's an amputee. And it's really sad when you think about it, because the reality is people are mad at Miss Rachel because she brought a Palestinian child onto her show. This is where we're at now, folks. This is where we're at, that you can't show any type of sympathy for the Palestinian people. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. So Miss Rachel is one of those people that, again, she cares deeply about children, child educator. And Miss Rachel has gone on record multiple times to say, I care about all children. And apparently for the Zionists, that was a problem. That was too much because she cares about all children. So they're after her. I want to show you this here. She issued a statement here on Instagram. Lauren says, Miss Rachel, who was accused of being an anti-Semite simply because she raised money for burned and amputee children in Gaza, puts out a statement at Stop Anti-Semites for what they have done. Miss Rachel is now receiving death threats. They are trying to get her killed, all because she embarrassed Israel by showing love and care to Gazan and Syrian babies who had survived Israel's atrocities. Stop Anti-Semites is a vile group and needs to be held accountable for this. So this is what Miss Rachel said and on Instagram. She's Miss Rachel for Littles. Stop Anti-Semitism Now group should not be able to try to ruin people's lives, cause them to receive threats, and need security. Try to get all business partners to drop them, accuse them of a serious crime being paid by Hamas, and get news to cover it with no evidence. I have 2 kids who shouldn't have to deal with the consequences of this. Remembering my son accidentally overhearing us talking about my safety and then him crying, wanting to hold my hand all night, scared something would happen to me. This has taken such a toll on me and my family, and all I've wanted was to help kids. So this is what this organization is doing to people like Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel is a mother. She's an educator, all because she wanted to help children that are Palestinian. This is how vile Zionism has become. And now they're trying to convince you otherwise. They're still trying to convince people that you should only have sympathy for Israel and you should not have any sympathy for the Palestinians at all. And more so, they're going even further to basically say to people that you should support their genocide. You should support what they're doing. This is where we are now, ladies and gents. So now you see Miss Rachel was now at the point where she had to hire security. Shout out to Mint Press News. Miss Rachel hires security amid escalation of Zionist threats. All this woman wanted to do was make kids happy. That's it. Again, like if you haven't seen her show before, she kind of reminds me of a mix of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which I kind of grew up with as a kid, and Blue's Clues, which I wasn't a kid when Blue's Clues came out, but sometimes I used to watch Blue's Clues. Shh, don't tell nobody. Hey, Blue and Steve were cool. They were cool. We are looking for Blue's Clues. What we got today? What's going on, Blue? Anyhow, it's a mixture of that. And it's gotten to the point now where she needs to have security. By the way, that's an extra expense. An extra expense. And security is not cheap. 4 months ago, Miss Rachel was on CNN. I want you to hear what she said then.
And these little ones, this little girl, Maha, who's lost her entire family, another little boy, Adam,
who lost his entire family. These aren't numbers. These are little ones who are so sweet. I have videos of both of them. They're just like the sweetest kids. And I think that the numbers are so vast, and we think, oh, that's a number, that's a number. It's like, look at my Instagram, look at Rahaf's joy, look at her sweet innocence. She's just a delight. That little girl's incredible. And she's doing really well now because she is here and she is getting medical care and she's using prosthetics. But then you also see her and say she shouldn't have lost her legs, and her mom shouldn't be video chatting her sons that are away from her in Gaza and they can't eat on FaceTime anymore because her sons are hungry. Like, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of so her mom is a teacher like me. So I put myself in her shoes and I imagine FaceTiming my husband with my sons in Gaza and then having my daughter here without legs. Like, I put myself in the situation of an Israeli person watching those videos that came out, and it's just excruciating. So I feel for everyone, and I know who I am, and I think the backlash, it's painful, but then you have to be like, I know who I am and I know what's right. And I will say, Christiane, that I think there's a little bit of a narrative that there's so much backlash, and there was before, but I realized, you think you're on the internet and you're getting a lot of backlash, and then you walk out on the street and people come up to you in tears and say, thank you so much for talking about Gaza. It's so heartbreaking. People who don't have a connection to it. I was shopping for Rahaf in the toy store, and a woman came up to me in tears and was just hugging me and saying that, and people from all walks of life and different states just coming up and saying, thank you. Mm. And even some people coming up and saying, we don't agree on every point, but I know these kids need aid. And so I think we can disagree on certain points, and we just all know that we have to treat people better. And I always focus on the children, but I mean all the innocent civilians, men, women, and children that are starving.
People know, and you.
So that was Miss Rachel's statement there to Christiana Amanpour. And I just want to tell people, as someone who worked in education, that is one of the easiest fields to get blacklisted in, especially since you're working with the youth. That's one of the easiest ones, because if they can somehow say what you're saying or what you're doing is a danger to the students, to the children, you can easily get blacklisted. So Miss Rachel isn't just someone that had like a YouTube channel called Miss Rachel. She's also an educator. And this is someone I can tell, again, having worked in education for a long time, this is someone who really, really cares about children. And it takes a certain amount of energy and strength to work in education. It's not a profitable field. Educators aren't paid a lot, especially those that are in that pre-K area. They're not paid a lot. So for me, having worked in education, this was heartbreaking to me that they are trying to ruin this woman's career, her life, to the point where she has to hire security. She has to worry about her kids, her children. How is this even allowed? How is it allowed? So we have to get fired up for Miss Rachel, because I don't know what employment opportunities will be open to her, but I could imagine right now it's probably a difficult time for her. And what they'll try to do, and we've seen this before with the Zionist energy, what they will try to do in so many ways, they are going to try to find a way to bankrupt you. Because if they can prove that you shouldn't be hired because they're throwing that label on you, if they can prove you shouldn't be hired, if they can prove that you shouldn't be around children, they're trying to bankrupt you, trying to make her life a living hell. She went on to say, wanting kids to live isn't anti-Semitic. I mean, just look at this. Miss Rachel is an anti-Semite because she thinks Palestinian kids have the right to live. Apparently, that's where the line is now. You see this? This is the organization. Stop Anti-Semitism. And it's not real anti-Semitism, obviously. but they put this label on people to make their lives a living hell. And that brings me to this. Everybody needs to see what is happening here. Shout out to Chris Minahan. World Jewish Congress President Ron Lauder calls for massive spending in lawfare to suppress anti-Semitism. We must spend as much as it takes to turn social media around. This is where we're at now, folks.
Anti-Semitism is rampant throughout our culture. For years, too many brushed it aside. They said, it's just a few angry kids. It won't go further. This is America. There is no anti-Semitism in America. They were wrong. Over the past 2 years, anti-Semitism didn't just rise. It exploded. We must spend as much as it takes to turn social media around with the truth, not lies. Remember, social media is a battleground for the next generation, just as education is. And it's not just colleges and universities. Today, our enemies have pushed their indoctrination against Jews and Western civilization all the way down from kindergarten through 12th grade. Textbooks have been changed by radicals. Our history has been distorted. Many young people have been brainwashed to hate Israel and the United States. They were raised with this over the past 20 years.
So here's the thing. He mentioned the textbooks, right? The textbooks don't favor the Palestinian people. But what he could be telling you is that they may want to change that too. They may want to change the textbooks so that the Palestinian people are mentioned, but in a negative way. And that'll be taught in all the schools, to all the kids. And that is why I say to the parents, it is on you to educate your kids and to tell them the truth. Just like it was on my parents and my grandparents to tell me the truth, a lot of the things that were not included in our history textbooks, it is really going to be on all of us to educate them. They want to get a hold of social media. They want to stop people like Miss Rachel. This is absolutely insane. We are looking at a different type of occupation, right? Now, there isn't a big fence that's around the entire North America, and Israel isn't bombing us, but they're using other means. They're trying to get a hold of social media. You heard it right there. He wants to spend as much money as possible. They're trying to censor people, silence people like Miss Rachel. They're hiring people like Barry Weiss to take over the presidency, at CBS News to become editor-in-chief, because that way they can control the narrative in the news market. I mean, doesn't this sound insane to you? So these things are also freedoms, guys. And that's what I want you to know. We're going to get fired up for Miss Rachel, because the thing is that freedom isn't just freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of expression. These freedoms, when we talk about freedom of expression, people express themselves on social media. And so if they get a hold of that and change it so that that information isn't seen, then no, we don't have freedom of expression. Does everybody hear me? If they can continue to make the case that Islam is dangerous and radical, how long do you think it's before they say Islam is illegal to practice? Even right here in North America, these things can happen. So then we would not have freedom of religion. So we can't let these things happen. Shout out to Eric T. Red for the 11 demands here for Miss Rachel is winning. Miss Rachel is winning. It may seem like Miss Rachel has been getting a lot of flack, but make no mistake, she is winning the narrative war. The Zionists are always going to make it hard and be shameless about using every dirty trick in the book. That's how they operate. It's important to remember that Zionism is an extension of an oligarch power. Israel itself is a pet project of billionaires like Miriam Adelson. They have a lot of wealth and power, but what they don't have is the numbers. Ms. Rachel is winning because she has a very clear demand: stop killing children. So how do we turn this demand into a reality? We need to connect the dots, examine how power operates. And when we do that, we reach an inevitable conclusion. Nothing really gets better until we decorrupt our government. This is why number one on the list of 11 demands is to fix big money in politics and government. We can win ourselves a better world, but it only happens if millions of people get organized behind a clear set of demands and relentlessly call out the corruption. It's up to us to be the spark to make that happen. See 11demands.org for the plan. Eric, if you can share that with people in the chat. That's the thing, guys. A lot of these issues that we talk about on this show all lead back to money and corruption. And so it's the big money that we have to get out. This is why, I'm not favorable of reforming the Democratic Party, because as long as the big money's in there, you're still going to have these problems, right? So let's get fired up for Miss Rachel. And if you know Miss Rachel, please reach out to her and give her a virtual hug. If you're not near her, just say, I'm sending you a virtual hug. Everybody go over to Miss Rachel's Instagram account and send her something positive. Send her positive comments like, we appreciate you, we support you. Those things can really matter at a time like this when you're worried about your safety. Let's go to some of the comments here, ladies and gents. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Shout out to Simon, who just became a Sabby member. Let's give Simon a big whoop, whoop. Hello. Thank you, Proud Liberal. Ha, ha, ha. They're mad Tish James won again. Shout out to Kit's Cat for becoming a member as well. And Maygay for becoming a member. Let's give them a big whoop, whoop. And thank you for the super chat, Kit. Much love. We love your show. Thank you. What's going on? Thank you. What Democracy? Nick Fuentes, world be number one on that list if legit. Yeah, that's another thing people were saying. He's not on that list. Janine says the original Steve on Blue's Clues. LOL, not that new one. Oh, yeah, the new one isn't good. Shout out to the Cheetah, who's been a member for 13 months. We love Miss Rachel. We are for Miss Rachel all the way. Free Palestine. Thank you, Newsom. The Episcopal Church is LGBTQ plus welcoming, and women can be priests. Thank you so much for that. Shout out to my comrade JB Font in the house, says good evening all. Okay. Base. Let's get the comment on Rockfin and keep it moving and grooving. Who do you love? Are you for sure? Okay. Thank you for the tip on Rockfin, Roger. Not Mr. Rogers, Sab, but pattern herself more after Romper Room and Friends, which was a children's show that aired from 1953 to 1994. Oh, I never saw that. With different hosts throughout the decade. In the early 70s, hosts were Miss Nancy, hosted The National, Miss Sally, Baltimore, Miss Jean, Boston, Miss Patricia, Regional. In the 80s, it was hosted by Miss Molly, Miss Sharon, Miss Marty, Miss Sally. Very rich tradition. Okay, I've never heard of that show. I'll have to look that up. Romper Room. Interesting. All right. We are moving on to the next story, folks. Again, the theme I want to remind you is fired up, and I think you're going to get fired up about this one. This case is wild. An Oklahoma teen just avoided jail time after he had 10 felony charges. This kid was accused and apparently, from what I understand, guilty of sexually assaulting multiple teenage girls. But because of who his daddy is, he's not going to jail. Let's get into this controversial story that a lot of people are talking about, folks. Oklahoma teen convicted of sexual assault avoids jail time, and it sparks protest at the court hearing. Let's go down into this here. A lot of people are upset about this. On Monday, the court determined that Jesse Butler is in compliance with the terms of his youthful offender agreement. This allows him to remain on probation. However, a judge warned him that if he violates that agreement, he'll go to prison for a very long time. Outside of Payne County Courthouse, protesters made the message clear: no jail, no justice. In March, following reports of assault by 2 high school students in Stillwater, police arrested Jesse Butler at his home, initially facing a 78-year sentence on multiple charges of sexual assault. Butler was granted youthful offender status. After a conviction in August, Butler, the son of a prominent family, was placed on probation, avoiding jail. This story has a lot of people talking. All I can continue to do is think about the victims, those girls that were hurt. And I do have a message for the moms as well, because I got to say something. The way his mother, we're going to get into it because Law and Crime got into some details. The way the mother just looked the other way. Just look the other way. And I got a message here, okay? For the moms that like to protect these boys, because, and some of you know what I'm talking about. There are some mothers who like to protect their sons, and they'll know their sons are doing wrong. They'll know their sons are hurting women, beating women, assaulting women. They'll know this, but they'll do what they can to protect them. And one of the ways that they do that is by looking the other way. Let's get into some of the more details here on Law and Crime. We're gonna start with the background, the history a little bit of the family, so that you guys understand. But this kid comes from a prominent family, and his daddy is big news.
So he attended Stillwater Public Schools, played for the high school baseball teams and other regional outfits. This is according to reporting from the Daily Mail. Stillwater is the home of Oklahoma State University, and Butler, by the way, comes from an influential sports family. The Daily Mail reports that his father, Mac Butler, was the OSU football team's director of operations from 2001 to 2004, and then again in 2009 until 2021. He was...
Pause. So his father was the football director of OSU, so Oklahoma State University. For those who have not lived in the South or the big sports states like I have, I got to tell you guys, in places like Oklahoma, Texas, the Carolinas, Georgia, that type of thing, football is God. Football, basketball, these college teams, it's everything there, everything. When I moved to North Carolina, I remember the first time we moved there, they said, you have to pick one. Are you a Duke fan or are you a UNC fan? Duke or Tar Heels? And I was like, I don't like either of these teams. They're like, no, you got to pick one. So I'm here to tell you, in those areas, the football team, college football team, college basketball team, this is a big deal, especially in the states that don't have professional teams. And so much of a big deal that you cannot go up against these people. You cannot go up against the coaches, anybody that works for the team, the athletes. No, it's on lock. That's how bad it is. So they're not even professional athletes, but that's how big some of the college sports can be in some of these places. Let's continue on.
Then hired as the assistant athletics director for Stillwater Public Schools. Butler's mother, Jackie Butler, is a coordinator for Cowboy sports properties at OSU. This is again according to the Daily Mail. Family members of Butler's victims described him as seemingly like, quote, the perfect boyfriend when he dated their 16-year-old daughters. But these affidavits, they reveal that behind closed doors, Butler was essentially a violent predator who refused to be told no. I'm going to take a look at this paperwork, okay? Now, we're not going to be getting into some of the more graphic parts of the affidavits, but this will give you an idea of the grave seriousness of this case. Now, according to the first affidavit, a 16-year-old identified by her initials LS told a school resource officer in September of 2024 that she had dated Jesse Butler for a few months earlier in the year, and that during that time, he physically and sexually assaulted her multiple times, including trying to rape her inside his car outside of an ice cream shop the previous February.
Multiple times. and nothing was done. And now he's not even going to jail after 10 felony counts. This is insane.
The affidavit reads, LS reported she yelled and told him no repeatedly and tried to push him off of her, but was unable to overpower him. LS reported Butler told her he was sorry for what he had to do, but he had to do it. LS recalled hyperventilating because Butler intended to have sexual intercourse with her and she did not want to. Now, according to LS, a woman must have heard her screaming because she walked up to the car and interrupted them. LS told police that Butler told her that if the police came, they would both be in trouble. He reportedly took her back to his home where her car was parked and then tried to rape her again. The affidavit says LS told Butler she needed to get home, but Butler pulled her on top of him and told her, "You're not going until I'm finished." LS said she was eventually able to get out of the car and get home. Now, the victim told police that Butler forced her to perform oral sex on him in the parking lot of a Planet Fitness despite her saying no. And unbelievably, during the assault, the affidavit says that Butler took a call from his mom, told LS she had to be silent or he would hurt her. There's another assault that happened at Butler's home in what's referred to as a movie room. According to LS, she believes Butler's mom heard her crying and saying no as Butler tried to have sex with her. And she
Pause right here. This is what I was talking about with the moms, okay? You see, because down south, some of these like football moms and baseball moms and basketball moms, some of them will know that their son's doing dirty, but they will look the other way because they look at it as though, hey, that's my future professional baseball player. That's my future professional quarterback over there. I have seen these things happen where the mother will look the other way and run cover for the son, even though they know that they are hurting females. So everybody, a lot of times they point fingers at the dad. This is not just the dads. You got dads that look the other way too. But I'm talking about the moms. I'm talking about the women who sit up there and look the other way while their son hit, abuse other girls, sometimes in front of them. Now, this girl said that she was screaming and she know the mother heard her scream, but mom not come for help. So I do not believe, and I have to say this, I do not believe that the mom didn't know this about her son. I don't think this was a surprise thing here. I really don't. Moms be knowing. And then the question is, when you know, what do you do after you know? The test is to see, do you punish your son? Do you hold him accountable? Or do you turn your head and look the other way? Better not say anything because his daddy works for OSU football team. It's crazy, but it happens. We'll go back a little bit more where he said she thought the mom heard.
as Butler tried to have sex with her, and she apparently came to the door asking if everything was okay. But it seems that's as far as this mom's interaction went, because the affidavit just says that Butler drove LS home at that point, except he didn't take her all the way home. No, he apparently parked nearby, tried to sexually assault her for nearly 2 hours. The affidavit says that when she finally managed to get to her house, he followed her and continued trying to assault her inside of the home. And the abuse just kept getting worse because, according to LS, in late February of 2024, Butler reportedly strangled her because she refused to have sex with him.
So now also strangulation as well. That's how abusive this guy was. Guys, here's the thing. He's a teenager and he's already doing these things. What do you think happens when he becomes an adult? Knowing who his father is, knowing that he's been able to get away with this, and now he avoids jail time. What do you think is going to happen? No accountability. And sometimes with these athletes, and I've seen this, now this ain't all of them, but sometimes with these athletes, they get really big-headed. They know they're going places, maybe because of their skill or because of who they know, sometimes a little bit of both. And they think that they can get away with anything. This ain't the first case. This is one of the ones that you're hearing about. One of the ones you're hearing about. If we go back and we take a look at Aaron Hernandez's history before he came to the New England Patriots, Aaron Hernandez had a number of issues. That's why the other teams didn't want to take him. So when it was reported that Aaron Hernandez was arrested because they accused him of killing these guys in Boston, at first we were all surprised, but then when you learned about his history, kind of all made sense. They let him through anyway. We need him. He's great. He's going to be a great athlete, great star. They looked the other way. Someone mentioned in the chat, Ben Roethlisberger from the Pittsburgh Steelers. This been going on, guys. And what I'm telling you is a lot of these guys that you hear about when they're adults, when they're pro, they were already having this type of behavior when they were teenagers. They looked the other way. They had problems with Aaron Hernandez when he was in high school. There were problems with Aaron Hernandez when he was down in Florida playing football with the Pouncey twins and Tim Tebow and all of them. Back when he was a Gator, Aaron Hernandez shot a guy in the face and he still went on to become a New England Patriot. How'd that happen? Let's continue.
David says, quote, LS reported she was hyperventilating and then recalled her vision being blurry and she was dizzy. She reported her head immediately hurt and she was confused about what occurred. She was scared of Butler, but when she regained consciousness, Butler was laughing at her. Following this incident, LS reported she had a handprint and injury on her neck. Now, LS was examined by a sexual assault specialist, confirmed the teen had been a victim of sexual and physical abuse. This is according to the affidavit. I got to say, by the way, this is a prime example of what we try to do here on Sidebar. We're trying to understand the legal system. We're trying to understand the law. And I have to say, I am so happy that this show is sponsored by legal experts, Morgan & Morgan, right? This is America's Law for the People.
We're skipping the sponsors
of the relationship, and did so to prevent physical aggression from him. When KS told Butler he was hurting her, he did not care and would not stop. Because of his aggressiveness, she was scared to tell him to stop. She expressed she was scared not to do what he wanted because of how physically violent he had been with her. KS reported Butler had left bruises on her hips from squeezing her so tightly. KS reported the intercourse was extremely aggressive, but she reported she quickly stopped fighting it because Butler would overpower her and hurt her to get his way. KS.
This is so, it's, and some of this is hard to listen to. But this kid, get it right about here. This is the kid who just walked free. Just walked free. He's a violent person.
Butler also strangled KS, and so bad, so long, that she eventually passed out. She reported she woke up on the floor of the living room in a house where she was apparently house sitting, and she claims Butler was livid that she wouldn't have sex with him in someone else's home. But after strangling her, KS claims Butler raped her 3 or 4 times. Later that same week, KS reported that Butler strangled her again. And if it's possible to even believe this, it was an even sicker power play. The affidavit says KS stated Butler told her he wanted to strangle her so he could film it on his phone. And if you can believe it, police found that video on Butler's phone.
So there was video evidence. That's the part I wanted to get to on his phone. And he just walked away free. And see, when people say, well, why didn't these women come forward sooner? This is why. Especially if it's someone that's in a powerful position or their parents are in a powerful position. This kid just walked away.
Which showed him choking KS until she passed out. What these girls went through, what they endured, is just unimaginable. But then you get to the consequences, and that too is seemingly unimaginable. Why? So Jesse Butler was charged in March of 2025 as an adult with 10 felony counts. We are talking rape. We are talking attempted rape, sexual battery, assault. He was later hit with an 11th charge when he apparently violated a protective order. He was facing almost 80 years in prison for these crimes. He ended up entering into a no contest plea, okay? This is where everything changes. This is where the shock comes when he entered that plea in August. His case had apparently been downgraded from adult court to youthful offender status. And because of that, he would spend no time behind bars. So instead of his 78-year prison sentence, that was deferred. It's deferred as long as he complies with his, quote, rehabilitation plan. According to News Nation, until his 19th birthday, Butler has to do these daily check-ins, these weekly counseling sessions. He has a curfew. He isn't allowed to be on social media. He has to complete 150 hours of community service. And if he does that, no prison time. The district attorney's office released this statement per the Daily Mail. The youthful offender sentence imposed against Jesse Butler requires him to complete his rehabilitation plan successfully, including an aggressive schedule of therapy with a specialist in sex offender treatment. And should he fail, he faces reclassification as an adult and a sentence of 10 years in prison.
This guy is a predator and a danger to women. And look at how easily he just gets off. This is what happens when your parents have money. This is what happens when your parents are prominent people. And I'm just thinking about those girls. They're never going to get over this. This is trauma. This is long-term trauma that they have to deal with for the rest of their lives. Now back to the mom. You know that your son produced a video of him strangling, choking his girlfriend at the time. Why are you still defending your son? When there is video evidence, why are you defending your son? And in some cases, it could be that the father has the same behavior towards the mother, and sometimes that's where the son gets it from. Either way, how you still defend him? And that's what I was saying before about some of these mothers. They just look the other way. Wait till you see the walkout video. Like I said, guys, people are up in arms about this case. This was him walking out of the court.
Jesse, why did you rape those girls, Jesse? Jesse, why did you rape the girls? You have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? You have anything to say to the victims? Being loud is not a violation. Sir, you have anything to say to the victims? You have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape them, Jesse? Why did you rape the victims, Jesse? Why did
See that? See, mama, hold on. Not a care in the world. Watch his face.
Being loud is not a violation. Sir, you have anything to say to the victims? You have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape them, Jesse?
That's what no accountability does. This is what happens when you know that you got it like that. You got privilege. You're not going to be held accountable. This is what that looks like. This guy don't have a care in the world. And the mama right behind. Mama right behind him. And that, in my opinion, is part of the problem.
Why did you rape the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape those girls? Why did you strangle them, Jesse?
Terrible. This is in Oklahoma, Queen mob in Oklahoma. So this kid gets, I just, this is why I continue to say, no, like we don't have a justice system. We have an injustice system, right? And we have to get fired up against this injustice system that we have in this country. This is what I've been talking about. If you ain't got the money, if you don't have the right resources, if you don't have the right network, and also in his case, because I'm going to go ahead and say this too. Here's another thing to think about. What if Jesse was a black teenager? What if Jesse was a black teenager and he had those 10 felony charges? Is he walking free? I would say not. And let me tell you why. One segment in my documentary is an interview with Mac Hudson. Mac Hudson was one of the people that was a part of the new rule to start charging 17-year-olds as an adult. Mac Hudson was actually innocent and then eventually was able to get out of there. But the point is, that was 33 years later. And you see this kid just walk free, and they got evidence, physical evidence of him, but he just walks away. This kid will end up hurting someone else again. You could tell by the look on his face. We're going a little bit more here.
So this complete 180 on punishment for this apparent sexual predator, as you can imagine, has caused quite the outrage in the city of Stillwater, and now across the world as the story spreads. There are calls for the judge who approved this plea deal, Special Judge Susan Worthington, to be reprimanded, to be removed for okaying this. And even the state's legislature could possibly be getting involved here. Oklahoma State Representative Justin J.J. Humphrey appeared on Ashley Banfield's show on News Nation this week, and he is fired up.
Okay, let me show you this, because we got to go back to the judge. Another woman. Ladies, you see how this works? The person who allowed this to happen was a female, not a guy. The judge isn't a man. Surprise. That's why when people say, well, women have their groups, they have their female solidarity. I'm like, no, we don't. No, we really don't. We ain't got it like that. I wonder how much she was paid to make that decision. Wonder if somebody slipped her some money under the table. These things happen to make the decision that she made. So no, we don't have a justice system. We have an injustice system, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share this story with your friends, your family members. More people need to talk about it. And more people need to be fired up about it. Let's go to some of the comments, ladies and gents. Eric, we can go to part 2 of Type VNC. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mountain Star Studio. Geofencing, doxing, and focus political propaganda. Record Vinyl said the mothers look the other way because the father does it to them. Thank you, Mountain Star. Ian keeps shredding Nick, Ray Epps, Fed, Fuentes. WQC says, okay, but let's be real. Yeah, it's a woman, but it's a white woman. Myra says, and it was a female judge. How sickening. This makes me extremely angry as a woman. Yeah, I keep telling people, like, as women, we ain't got it like that. We don't have it together like that. No. Thank you for the Rumble Rant, Mark. Here in Wayne, New Jersey, parents of football players were trying to get their kids off for jumping a couple of kids from the rival school. The BOE almost gave in to the parents until 60 Minutes got involved. Interesting. All right. I wanted to get the heavy stories done first, guys. Okay? All righty. All right. We're going to move on into the next story. If you haven't had a chance to do so, go ahead and smash that like. Thank you. And we are fired up. Let's keep it moving. Something very interesting. Very interesting. So I finally finished the Sean Combs Diddy docuseries on Netflix. The executive producer is rapper 50 Cent. And going into this documentary, I thought that this was going to be more about the trial, more about the trafficking, the alleged trafficking, more about like him and Cassie. And while that is discussed, a good portion of the documentary was focused on if he killed Biggie, if Diddy killed Tupac, and of course, like how Sean Combs was able to break into the music business and how he became that way. There's also some features about making the band, that series that Diddy was also a part of. But I got to tell you guys, I was kind of surprised that there are actually people in the documentary on camera saying that Sean Combs killed Tupac and Biggie. Now, there's what I believe, and then there's evidence. Do I believe that he was involved? Oh, hell yes. I believed that for years, for a long time. Long time. He just looked, he was dancing a little too hard in the videos for me, man. He was dancing a little too hard. Suge Knight said it best at the BET Awards. Suge Knight said, hey, if y'all want to, work with a producer that don't be all dancing up in the videos, come to Death Row. And that's kind of like Diddy was kind of known for that at the time. He was called Puff Daddy at that point, but he was always dancing in the videos. And before I knew his name, I was like, who is this skinny dude always dancing in the videos when we just want to see like Biggie's there rapping? It's like, Biggie, give me one more chance. And the camera pans to the skinny guy in a hot tub. Who are you? So for a while, I didn't even know who that guy was. Later on, we find out that's Puff Daddy. And then after Biggie was killed, all of a sudden it's like Puffy got a whole solo album coming out. Puffy, No Way Out. He even had a dedication song to Biggie, which was basically a big sample of Sting's Every Breath You Take. You know that song, Every Breath You Take? It's a sample of that. And instead of I'll be watching you, it's I'll be missing you. And, some people for the first time watching this docuseries, that was the first time that they heard that, whoa, there are people here saying that he was involved in Biggie's death. He was involved in Tupac's death. So people have memes all over social media making fun of Diddy right now. And because of that, some people are now coming after 50 Cent. People are mad at him because he's the executive producer of the documentary, but also because he is doing a TV tour to promote the docuseries as well. In fact, here's one of them. 50 Cent says it's not over. More unreleased Diddy footage that did not make it to the Netflix documentary is coming potentially to YouTube, including footage about how Diddy had a kid with Tupac's ex-girlfriend, allegedly. Diddy has a daughter, Chance Combs, with Sarah Chapman from 2006, who famously dated Tupac in 1995. And so here's a picture here. There's a Diddy with her, and there's Tupac with her. I can't play this because of copyright, but that was 50 Cent discussing that on Sherry's show. So now we find out that 50 Cent still is not done. And 50 Cent has had issue with Diddy for a long time. When Diddy was arrested, 50 Cent was on social media saying, I tried to tell you guys what was up with Diddy. I tried to warn you guys about him. And now you see he is telling you there's more information that is going to come out. 50's not done. And so because of that, now some of the other, rappers in the entertainment industry, they're kind of looking over their shoulder and wondering, is somebody going to make a docuseries about them? One of those people who's wondering that, I assume, from this information, is Ja Rule. Now, Ja Rule, I ain't heard from him in a minute. The only song I remember from Ja Rule that he did on his own, and he didn't have these other collabs, was the Holla Holla song. Holla, holla, anybody that's ready to get dollars, it's murder. That's the only one I remember by him where he didn't have like a Shanti with him, a co-singer or something like that. But I ain't heard from Ja Rule in a while. Well, he's back. And now he is coming after 50 Cent. Ja Rule shares pictures of 50 Cent and Diddy, old reports about 50 Cent, and claims he's about to do a documentary on 50 Cent. Let me be clear. This ain't about Diddy. He's already in jail serving time as he should be. This is about this sucker Curtis, who is 50 Cent, acting like he's hip-hop moral savior, going on TV with them tight-ass nasty suits and them big-ass jughead when you're no different, allegedly. I wonder when it went wrong, they look so happy together. And so I can show you here. This is what Ja Rule is sharing on social media. There's 50 Cent and Diddy hanging out. Yeah, there's pictures there. He's sharing this here. 50 Cent's Long Island home burns down. Ja Rule says, let me be clear, this ain't about Diddy. The same thing. So he's sharing information here. Here's another one. The mother of 50 Cent's child accused the rapper of trying to burn them to death after suspicious fire ripped through their Long Island home earlier today. He tried to kill me and his own child, says Shaniqua Tompkins, 31, who miraculously survived the suspicious 4 a.m. blaze, which leveled a $2.4 million mansion in Tony Dix Hills. So Ja Rule is claiming that 50 Cent should also be there in jail with Diddy. So he says, I think I'm going to start doing docs. There's a lot to unpack here, allegedly. And then I kind of look at it like this, some people kind of looking around again, like Ja Rule may be wondering, is he going to put something out about me? Now, to be clear, 50 Cent is the executive producer. An executive producer funds the project. He's not listed as a director, but he's the one who was, in the game. He was the one who hung out with Diddy and all the other rappers, and he went forward to become a businessman. He doesn't focus as much on music like he used to. But the reality is here, folks, 50 pissing people off. And people are like, well, what's going on? What's really going on? So Ja Rule, again, here on X, Curtis called out Diddy for being an abuser. And now I'm calling out Curtis for being one. What's the problem? So he's saying that 50 Cent is also an abuser. Also goes on to say here, receipts. Let's show you this part. Receipts. Need more, I have. Okay, receipts. Need more, I have them. This is Ja Rule. So this is what he's showing. 50 Cent bankruptcy case reopened to consider abuse allegations. That was July 10th of this year. And again, 50 Cent's Long Island home burns down. That was 2008. So Ja Rule sounds like he knows things too. 50 Cent issues public apology to ex-girlfriend after abuse allegations. That was 2015. So people are kind of, and I've been watching on social media. I've also been checking, of course, Black Twitter has been like, okay, we saw this docuseries. What is really going on? And for those who are not aware, I don't want to give too much away in case you want to watch it, but for those who are not aware, some of the people who came forward are people that worked with Diddy. One guy in particular co-founded Bad Boy Records with Diddy. He's all up in the documentary, telling everything. There's been pushback against Netflix about this docuseries. Diddy's mom said that she doesn't appreciate it. There was a cease and desist that was issued to Netflix to pull this docuseries, but apparently, according to Netflix, they don't have to pull it because they had permission to use what they used. It's wild. So if you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it. You may see some things about Diddy that you thought you knew, but you didn't know. And then here's another one. 50 Cent reacts to Ja Rule by posting a video of Gene Deal telling a story about how Ja Rule and Diddy ran out of a hotel room together naked with towels only. So 50 Cent shared this on social media. I can't play it because it has his music in the background. But 50 Cent, in case you're wondering why these people are saying very, very nasty things about me, what are you stupid? Are you stupid, Miss Piggy? LOL. 50 Cent is alleging that Ja Rule ran out of a hotel room with Diddy naked with towels only. In case you're wondering why these people are stupid. So we told you that part, right? So that's what I was saying. Like, people are now looking at 50 Cent some kind of way, and they're like, wait a minute, are you going to try to come after me? So let me put your information out there. So 50 Cent obviously has something on Ja Rule, which is him running out of a hotel room naked with Diddy. I don't know. I just know the music business can be very dirty, very corrupt and grimy. And there's some wild things that have happened in the entertainment business. Some wild things. And now we have to bring in Marlon Wayans, because what does he have to do with all of this? Marlon Wayans, comedian, of course, part of the Wayans family. Marlon claims that his ongoing feud with 50 Cent isn't about defending Diddy. I'm going to make it clear, I'm not here defending Diddy. So people are upset with Marlon Wayans as well, because he said something to 50 Cent, and people automatically are assuming that he's trying to defend Diddy. Listen to this.
All right, so I'm going to make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you. Never. Don't let nobody bully you. You got me? Love. Now back to trolling this troll.
So, to be fair, Marlon Wayans did say in other interviews that he did attend Diddy parties, but that he left before all that freaky stuff started, So a lot of people have been to Diddy parties. That doesn't mean that they partook in those activities during freaky time. So that's just something to be clear about. But I don't know, man. I think some people are getting scared and some people are getting nervous. Like, if you're watching and you saw the docuseries, please let me know in the chat. Just let me know if you saw it or you didn't see it. I'm curious to hear what you think about it. But I would say, like, if you did not know much about Diddy and you watch that docuseries, you might be surprised by some of the things that you see. But for me, I mean, like, when I watched it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of what I figured. I was kind of surprised, though, that people made statements that, he killed said people, but they're not showing evidence. They're not showing proof, right? But I have my beliefs, because I've believed that for quite some time. I've believed for some time he had something to do with Tupac. He had something to do with Biggie, because look at it this way. How is it that you just happen to be at both of these events when both of them were killed, but ain't nothing happened to you? You ain't get a scratch, no nothing, nothing. How this happened? I also knew that, yeah, there was this energy. They were friends with Tupac at one point, but then, when Tupac got shot up, he got shot, I think it was 5 times, but he survived. Tupac became a little suspicious and was like, I think it was Biggie and Puff that did it. What I can tell you that I've learned from over the years is that Diddy really didn't want anyone to be on top but him. There's another thing they talk about in the documentary, how Diddy stole a Rolling Stone cover from Biggie. It was supposed to be Biggie on that cover, and he said, no, pull it, put me on it for my No Way Out album that's coming out. I mean, not to throw shade, but if anybody listened to Diddy rap, we all knew Diddy was not a great rapper. It was all the talent that was around him. And apparently, for those who are not aware, Diddy owe a lot of artists money. And that's another thing that repeatedly comes up, how he was not paying people. That comes from multiple people, right? But I think people are getting scared because that docuseries blew up and people are looking around and they're like, okay, is someone going to say something about me? They're going to come after me now? And it also kind of don't help. 50 Cent, like I said, he's going on show after show after show to promote the docuseries. And 50 Cent is not letting this go. I got to tell you, if that's not someone you want to piss off, because he's been angry with Diddy for a long time and he is not letting this go. You heard what he just said. He told you there's more videos coming out, but it's going to be on YouTube. So the docuseries isn't the end of this. I think 50 Cent is on a mission. I think he wants to ruin Diddy for good. And I don't think he's going to stop until it happens. Let me know what you thought. If you watch the docuseries, let me know. Curious to hear. Okay. Let's go to some of the comments here, ladies and gents. Thank you, Mountain Star, for the super chat. Trust the Just Us judicial system. Thank you for the super sticker, Gilberts. Thank you, Zora. I love your show. Thank you for all the work you do. I have loved your interview style, and I can't wait to see your documentary. Love from NYC, Zora. Thank you. Yeah, you can watch the documentary now. It's on my channel for the time being. If you go to the homepage, there's a section that says documentary. It's right there. Thank you, Courtney. 50 will probably buy the rights and snatch that documentary from Ja before it drops, just like he bought out Ja's concert so no one would come. Holla, holla, anybody that's ready to get, it's murder. Thank you, Mountain Star. Agree with Uncivil Unrest new member. Do a documentary on the people that own the music industry, like Fargo. Something smells funny in the wood shed. That would be a fun documentary to do. Mr. Brewster said, no, Sab, 50 ain't a legend. Gene Deal was there. Yeah, I have to say alleged. I have to say alleged on this show because he ain't coming for me. Thank you, Sherelle. Diddy's former security shared that the same story about the hotel. It was the one with the butt plugs. Sir Knight says, yeah, I think I know what Marlon talking about. He's probably upset about who the documentary didn't mention. They left out the elephant in the room. Like I said, I was kind of surprised that there wasn't as much focus on like the trial, the alleged trafficking, like that type of stuff. Like it was more so other things. It's 4 episodes. And thank you, Roger. Source, not BET. The Source Awards, sorry. And Paramount Theater, New York City, 1994. Yes, the Source Awards. Sorry about that. Thank you, Roger. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. All right. Quick announcement, and then we're going to keep it going. All right, guys, it is time for our annual clothing and food giveaway. We don't need to raise funds, but I'm asking you to donate any of these goods if you have them. The address is right here. I'm also going to send this on my newsletter as well. It's our winter clothing and food giveaway. The items that we need right now, like we have a lot of adult clothes, so we're all set there. But the items that we're looking for are diapers, blankets, kids' clothes, non-perishable food, toiletries. This is important to note, guys. If you're sending feminine hygiene products, it's important that you send pads and not tampons. There's a reason for that. Like this was brought to my attention. So I just want to stress that. You can mail those to our P.O. box, to me, P.O. Box 15773, Boston, Massachusetts. And then I'll also be sure to send this out in my newsletter as well. Charlie was so gracious that he created an Amazon wish list. I'm just going to put that all in my newsletter and send that out tomorrow. So you can just go to that Amazon wish list if you want to and just click what you need there and just send it. It'll go right to the P.O. box. But that event, if you're in the area, it's the winter clothing and food giveaway. It's Saturday, December 20th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Grove Hall Library, 41 Geneva Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts. And food will be provided for those of you in the area. We're going to have sandwiches like we did before. And again, it's for Boston Mutual Aid Group. So that's the mutual aid group that I'm a part of. Just wanted to shout that out and let you guys know about that. So again, if you want to make physical donations, these are the items that we really need. We don't need any more adult clothes. So we're good with that. So yeah, but I'll send that in my newsletter tomorrow as well. All right, let's continue getting fired up. Donald Trump has an economy problem. An economy problem at this recent rally that he had in Pennsylvania. The numbers aren't looking too good. Wasn't looking too good for Donald Trump. You can see this here for yourself. Really American shared this. You can hear a pin drop at Trump's rally as he lies to Pennsylvanians about prices fall flat. So listen to this, guys. Again, this is not the usual crowd that you see at a Trump rally either. Listen to this.
2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The inflation, and after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax. 2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that?
So Donald Trump is lying his ass off. Pennsylvania is one of the states in the U.S. that still has that federal minimum wage at $7.50 an hour. It's a swing state as well. This rally, and I'll show you another image here, this rally was not well attended like his other rallies have been in the past. So lying to people in Pennsylvania, of all places. Now, of course, there's always going to be the simps. There's always going to be people that are like, we love you no matter what. And that's the people at this rally. But you can't continue lying to the American people and telling them that the prices are coming down when they're not. For those of us that shop, those of us that go grocery shopping, we know the prices aren't coming down. But that's what Donald Trump is doing. And you will notice, let me show you this one. Shout out to this gentleman here, that Patriot Voice. Watch this. Oh boy, this is much worse than I thought. Trump's first live rally in a long time only shows 55,000 live viewers on X currently. He can't even pull 100,000 live viewers on X during prime time and only 1.7K on Facebook. It used to be when Trump was doing rallies, the live view numbers would be in the many hundreds of thousands, even millions, especially on large social media platforms. So I'm not saying this. I'm not saying it just to say it. It is real, raw data. These numbers are embarrassing and abysmal for Trump. But most importantly, they paint a vivid picture of the general sentiment, and it speaks volumes towards Trump and this administration currently. This certainly does not bode well at all for the GOP midterms. We, the people, have to come to the realization that we have been crossed by MAGA. So many people are tuning out. Check it out, guys. So he took screenshots here. So at one point, so 55,000 viewers there on X, which is low for him. That's low. And then on Facebook, 1.7K viewers for a Trump rally. That's low. And check it out, fam. You know, I think that poster has a point. I think more and more people just aren't falling for the BS anymore. I mean, people can only lie to you about your own wallet for so long before it really like, whoa, you're lying to me. Donald Trump ran on a populist message because he knows it works. But that doesn't mean he actually plans on accomplishing these things. Because people tell you anything when they're campaigning. Now I want you to think about something for a second. That's the president of the United States. Only 55,000 people are watching him on X. How many people, let me look this up. How many people watch CANDACE Owens when she's live? Give me a number. Throw out numbers in the chat. And I say this because that's someone who voted for him. That's someone who supported him. They're a part of the same party. Oh, actually, I don't know if she's still part of that now, but they were a part of the same party. How many people? We throwing out numbers here? How many people watch? Isaac said 1 million. Dark Knight said 800,000. Barry said 130,000. I'm seeing 130, 122, 200,000, over 200. Okay, you guys get the point. Trump's in trouble. And the Republican Party is in trouble. And yes, the midterms are right around the corner. People are starting to see it. You know what else? The Epstein files didn't help either, bud. The Epstein files really did not help. But people are just looking at the kitchen table issues. PSL shared this. As Americans brace for an unexpected rise in energy costs this winter for 7.6%, Trump claimed that prices are coming down tremendously during a rally in Pennsylvania as he stood under a large banner with the words, "Lower prices, bigger paychecks." In reality, the only people experiencing bigger paychecks are the billionaire class who saw their already monstrous wealth increase by 18% in 2025. Here's a graphic here. Let's talk about this 7.6%. I don't know how many of you live in the Northeast, but this winter has been really cold. Typically here in Massachusetts, yes, we have long winters. Yes, it gets cold, but it usually doesn't get this cold before Christmas. January and February are usually our coldest months during the winter. It has been so cold that I had to turn the heat up to, and don't get mad at me, but I had to turn the heat up to one night, I had to turn it up to 75. That's how cold it has been. Now, I haven't gotten the electric bill yet, but I'm scared because I don't know what it's going to be. It has been very cold. It's been very dry. And so when it gets down to like 20 degrees, sometimes 18, 15, or my favorite is when it says it's 20 degrees outside, but it feels like 10 degrees. You have to crank up the heat because even inside the house, it's still going to be relatively cold. So I'm scared. I don't know what the bill's going to be, but I know it's not going to be cheap. I'm just keeping it real. So I don't know. And I have an electric blanket and I'm saying this. So the energy costs are going up for a lot of us, particularly here in the Northeast. And I would imagine the Midwest as well. Eric said, I sit in front of a space heater. Yeah, be careful with those, Eric. Be careful. Okay. Jay said he could care less Venezuela. Yeah. He's focused on Venezuela, right? He's focused on attacking other countries, going after other people. In fact, he mentioned something like that at the rally. He brings up the shithole countries thing again when he should be focused on our economic issues right here.
I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. I didn't say shit, all you did. Remember I said that to the senators, they came in, the Democrats. They wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people. Do you mind?
What he's basically saying is to send us white people, right? The Europeans, right? So let me ask you guys a question. Why is he even focused on who should be sent to the U.S. when the U.S. is falling apart? Our infrastructure is falling apart. People aren't getting paid what they should. I hope no one's looking for a job right now because my friends that have been looking for jobs, it's not looking too good. Contract, temp, maybe. No benefits with those positions. I have a friend that's been looking for a permanent job for almost a year. And all they've been able to get is temp or contract. And they have experience. So what does that tell you? What's really going on? But he's focused on, oh, can we get these people instead of these people? We don't even have our stuff straight right here. We have increase in homelessness, which remember, Trump said he was going to fix all these things. And I tried to warn people that he wasn't going to fix this either. People getting laid off by the thousands from different companies. And you sit up there focusing on, again, it's another distraction. Let's talk badly about people from Somalia and all these different countries so that you're not focused on Donald Trump ain't doing shit for you economically right now. Nothing. So he wants to distract you and get you to hate everybody else abroad so you're not focused on the fact that you barely getting by. Maybe I won't notice the cost of these steaks if I just focus on the fact that those damn Somalians. It's all a distraction. And guess what? It's not 2016 anymore, Trump. It's not 2016 anymore. The same lines that he used to say, it don't hit the way it used to hit, you know? People aren't falling for it the way they used to. That's why this rally was small as fuck. That's why a lot of people weren't watching it the way that they used to, because people starting to see through him too. Good. Rich people look out for rich people. Donald Trump is rich. He looks out for his buddies. That's why you're not getting those Epstein files. That's why you ain't getting a load of that, because he knows some of his homies up in there, all up in them sheets. That's why.
But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
It's really sad, isn't it? I mean, you call those countries names, but you bomb those countries. And then people wonder, oh, I wonder why it is that way. Now, there's going to be, of course, the cultists that are going to follow him regardless. Here they are chanting 4 more years.
They never talk. Thank you very much. They say I'm not allowed to run. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but that's okay. He said 4 more years. You see the new hat? We have 4 more years. 2020. We have all sorts of...
You notice how quiet that sounds? It's not as many people there as you think. These are the cultists, right? They worship this guy. He's their hero, Lord and Savior. That part of the crowd. Now, you had some of them with Biden too. Don't get me wrong. You do see it on both sides. But look at this. You know he knows there's a problem, because look at this crazy rant that he posted. Cucktard shared this. Trump sending out his resume now. His teeny tiny little rally obviously didn't convince him that MAGA isn't crumbling. So he goes on to say here, let me just put this up this way. Actually, I'll go back this way because it's bigger this way. There has never been a president that has worked as hard as me. My hours are the longest, and my results are among the best. I've stopped 8 wars. This is a blatant lie. Saving many millions of lives in the process, created the greatest economy in the history of our country. This is hilarious. Brought business back into the U.S. at levels never seen before, rebuilt our military, created the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts ever, closed our open and very dangerous southern border when previous administrations were unable to do so, and created an aura around the U.S. Let's go on here. He goes on to say, in addition to all of that, I go out of my way to do long, thorough, and very boring medical examinations at the Great Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, seen and supervised by top doctors, all of whom have given me perfect marks. Some even said they have never seen such strong results. I do these tests because I owe it to our country. In addition to the medical, I've done something that no other president has done on 3 separate occasions, the last one being recently, but taking what is known as a cognitive examination, something which few people would be able to do very well, including those working at the New York Times. I aced all 3 of them in front of large numbers of doctors and experts, most of whom I don't know. Guys, this reads like a 12-year-old wrote this. in front of large crowds of experts, most of whom I don't know. He knows they're in trouble. And so it's like, let me put my resume out there for all the peeps to see. He goes on to say, they are true enemies of the people. He's talking about the New York Times, and we should do something about it. They have inaccurately reported on all of my election results, and in fact, were forced to apologize for what they wrote. Blah, 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 blah. Make America great again. That's what he says. Dude has lost it. This was the number one thing that he ran on, that he said that he was going to fix, was the economy. He said, Biden and Kamala messed it up. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to get it back. And now he's lying to people to their face, telling them everything's going great. Just look at how these prices are coming down. And it's funny what people would believe just because someone said something in front of them. My hero said it, so it's got to be true. So much to the point that they would even ignore their own eyes, their own bank accounts, because they want to still be a stan. Donald Trump's economy will cost Republicans in the midterm. We're going to see it happen. And you know what's interesting about all this? He keeps bringing up the Democrats. Republicans have control of the House and the Senate and the White House. He still keeps bringing up Joe Biden. And look, we had our criticisms of Biden too. He keeps bringing up Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not president anymore. This is the economy under Donald Trump. New boss, still shady, still looking out for corporate interests, still looking out for the military industrial complex and not the working class. And this is going to be very telling come 2028. Very telling. So people need to get fired up. Donald Trump isn't even fired up at that rally. He's just like, oh, I don't think he drinks, but I don't know if he took a sip of something. I don't know. Because he was just kind of like, oh, they said I couldn't do it. And I'm here, look at that. Those numbers are going down. Doesn't work anymore. Does not work anymore. Let's go to some of the comments here, ladies and gents, and then we'll move on to our last story. And we will do call-in tonight after the show. Thank you, VSSE. Convinced my girlfriend's father, who is a pastor, not to go to Israel. Shared the video you did on the pastors. That could have been him. He almost got duped. Oh my God, drop the beat for VSS. We're dropping the beat for you. Yeah. Drop the beat. Dance with me. Dance with me. Drop the beat. In the street. Woo! That is what I'm talking about. That's some good news. All right. Shout out to Dr. Casey, PhD, for becoming a member. Give Dr. Casey a big whoop whoop. Thank you, Focus, for the super chat. It's true. Most of us right-wingers are tired of Trump and his administration being Israel first. Monica, Trump working hard to make his family richer. I hear Kushner even hit billionaire status. Greedy SOBs. Yeah. Trump looking out for Trump. Thank you, Focus. Trump lies and blames Muslims. Democrats lie and blame YTs, whites. The rest of us know who the real problem is and who always benefits regardless of which party is in charge. Thank you, Resurrect. Congress switches, the economy won't be fixed still. It's a good point too. Thank you. All right, let's get the comments on Rockfin and we'll keep it moving and grooving, fam. Let's go ahead and go to part 3 of Type VNC. Thank you. Thank you for the tip on Rockfin, Dave. Thanks for this coverage, Sabby. You are welcome. Thank you, Roger Meadows. Donald whites from Europe are not coming here because they consider the U.S. a step down. Compare their labor policy, healthcare policy, maternal policy, decommodified policy, social safety net policy with ours. Don, if you want white people to come here from Europe, start bombing and putting economic sanctions on them and they'll flood our ports. Damn. Well, that was a good one there, Roger. That was a good one. Okay, we are making it to our final story, ladies and gentlemen, before call in. And I do want to remind you, smash the like if you haven't done so. And let's keep this show moving and grooving. Fired up. It has officially happened, ladies and gentlemen. It's officially happened. And yeah, man, ERIKA KIRK is now fired up against CANDACE Owens. She has made a number of statements on different shows throughout the past couple of days, and CANDACE has issued multiple responses. The first one that I want to dive into is the interview that ERIKA had on Fox News on Faulkner Focus, where she did not mention CANDACE's name, but I think we all know who she was talking about. Let's go ahead and bring this in here. Get ready for guys, get your tissues. Get your tissues, guys, so you can dab the corner of your eyes. I'm sorry. Is that bad? That's bad, guys. I'm sorry. Was that bad? Too soon? Okay, let's go.
With ERIKA KIRK sharing her journey with America and the world, we are grateful at Fox to have her here to shine a light on healing as we all miss and mourn the loss of her beloved Charlie Kirk. Not all of her journey has been without, well, hate, conspiracies, and oddly, speculation about where her husband is buried. Now, for the first time, ERIKA, who's with me now, addresses all of it from the perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American. Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my
ERIKA KIRK filmed herself standing over Charlie Kirk's casket. She filmed herself standing over his casket, you guys. Whoo, child.
babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying.
Why does it have to be secular revolutionary? Does everybody see what she did there? It almost kind of sounds like a script. It's got to be, they have to be a secular person. They have to be a revolutionary person. Wow.
This is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that. But this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
First of all, get some popcorn, folks. Get comfortable. First of all, let's talk about the first part. It almost feels like she's reading a script. To me, like when I'm watching this, it almost feels like she's auditioning for, like, I don't know, the return of 90210 Millennial or something. I don't know. It feels like she's reading a script. The way she's talking, the cadence, the way that it's coming out, right? Remember, she was a pageant girl. So, it ain't like she ain't had experience, doing some type of acting stuff before too. I think she was also on a reality show. It feels scripted. Okay, so there's that. 2, the part about people making money. Everybody knows who she's talking about. She didn't say Candace's name, but let's keep it real. Who's been really digging into this the most? Candace, right? Tucker Carlson, though, has now even come out and made statements on Yvonne's show saying he doesn't buy the narrative from the FBI about this either. But I think we all know she's talking about Candace. You talk about people making money from Charlie Kirk's death, but you sitting right there in front of Faulkner with a book that you trying to sell. I can't make this up. You got, like, what is happening here? Let's stop pretending like you ain't trying to make no money right now, because you is. You ain't giving that book away for free. You going on different shows to sell that book that Charlie Kirk wrote, and you trying to make some money. And Turning Point USA is making some money right now. So why is she pretending like? Okay. Let's go on.
I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do.
Girl.
We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. You name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
They weren't too rocked to the point that they weren't able to get back in front of a camera and keep that podcast going. I'm not trying to be mean, but look, you guys are, you're talking to Sabby right now. I'm not on Fox News. I'm not on CNN. I can say things here that they would never let me say on there. That's why you don't see me on there. And this is just the reality, folks. Okay. And people talked about different ways of grieving. I talked about that before on the show as well. But to me, it was just very fast how that same team just managed to jump right back in to the podcast that wasn't even theirs to begin with. It was actually Charlie Kirk show, but they were able to jump back in and just say, let's keep this machine going. Got to make that money, honey. Couldn't even take time off to let everything just kind of sink in. Had to jump right in. Kabam!
You know, the conspiracies that are out there, all of the like. Do you think that there is more of it now because you do shine your light? I mean, did people just expect you would just go away?
I don't know what they expected. I don't know what they expected.
They pick on you because of your accessories. I mean, I've seen some of it.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, it's what the conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously, you will, if you want to find and pick me apart, go right ahead. I do not care. I don't. This was happening before Charlie was murdered. Both of us have been through the ringer of people will call you whatever they want to call you. They will. But I have seen it firsthand impact the people that I love, and I'm done. I'm done. And if people think that I was just going to wilt away, I'm not going to sit in the corner and cry and be in fetal position. This is a duty to my husband, and it's an absolute honor, and I will never back down. And so my message to them is to stop. To stop.
And that's what we will say here on Outnumbered 2. God bless you. Hold up your book.
Stop.
Hold up your book. But she talking about other people trying to make money. And here she is. Hold up that book. Sell that book. Make that money. I didn't see these people before in my life, you guys. I have to tell you, it's so fake and so scripted to me. And so let's get to the first part where Candace does respond. She responded twice. And I got to tell you something. I think a lot of people have really showed their ass. I don't know what's going on within that MAGA right-wing space, because I have seen Tim Pool's out there calling Kim Iverson smelly. Tim Pool has lost his crap too. He's coming after Candace. Nick Fuentes is coming. Everybody's coming after Candace at the same time. So that also, to me, it seems like it was a planned attack. Let's all just go after her at the same time. But the reality is here, folks, I just don't buy this acting from ERIKA KIRK. It just feels, and I feel, part of me feels bad saying that because it's like, okay, well, she did lose her husband. Yeah, part of me, but also part of me feels like she milking this too, okay? You know what I mean? Why are they acting like ERIKA KIRK is the only person who lost their husband? Why are people acting like, you know who else saw their husband get shot in front of the world or was sitting right next to their husband? Philando Castile. Philando Castile was shot and killed right in front of his wife and his daughter. I see Fox News bring them on. I see Faulkner Focus bring on Philando Castile's wife and asked her, how are you doing? How are you coping? You see what I'm saying? So let's listen to this first part here from Candace. She's going to respond to that Faulkner Focus interview.
This is the same person who had somebody record her over Charlie Kirk's casket. That was not our business, truly. And I can say that decision was made by her. And there is, some credence to the claim that everybody grieves differently. I wouldn't even record myself over a casket ever, okay? Some people maybe perhaps want to have that memory. But the decision to publish that, you crying over your husband's casket, and to publish his dead body on Instagram was a decision that was made by ERIKA. And we can watch that. Take a look.
Oh, I love you. I can't even show that on here, you guys. I can't. I'm going to change it. Because to me, I felt like that was just like, why are you filming yourself in front of the casket? And then also, that's that thing about privacy, right? So it's like, you want to have a private moment, you don't want to have a private moment. Like, why did you need to film yourself doing that? Again, that's what I mean about the script. These things have happened to women for years. There are multiple women who you may even know that have lost their husbands. There are multiple women that watch their husbands get shot right in front of them. People talking about it was live stream. People saw a live stream. There were women who were right there when their husband was shot and killed right in front of them. So to me, it's just weird. The way that Fox News and Barry Weiss and her traitoring ass, it's really weird to me the way that they're acting like this has never happened before, ever. Let's continue.
I'm sorry, but that whole thing right there is frustrating. And I'm going to explain to you why I just do not accept any of that. First and foremost, The idea that she does not have time. Okay, she definitely has time, okay? She's done Hannity, she's done The Five, she's done Fox and Friends, she's done Outnumbered, she's done Megyn Kelly Live, she sat down with the New York Times. She made time, by the way, in case you don't remember, to fly to DC for Sergio Gore to be sworn into the ambassador to India, as the ambassador to India, which feels kind of obscure and not necessarily related to Turning Point USA affairs, building affairs, or whatever it is. But sure, that's fine. I mean, obviously, you're also allowed to be a person if that's the homie and that's what you want to do, sure. But we are indeed speaking about a coast-to-coast flight to stand up next to somebody and basically say, Charlie loved you. That was like the whatever 15-second speech that she gave, right? Here's actually, we have a clip of that speech that she gave.
She had time for all of these things. She has time to go out there and sell that book.
Well, he was also very good friends with a guy named Charlie. We just knew him as Charlie. And his wife, who we love so much, is here with us. And maybe, you know how close they were together. Maybe, ERIKA, you could say a couple of words, please.
Honor to you, sir. Charlie loved you. It's hard not to get emotional because I know that he would have been the first phone call when he found out that you were going to be taking this position. And the way that I was able to witness the two of you work together for years and to champion and support the president was absolutely humbling to witness. And I am so proud of you. And Charlie is going to be with you every beautiful moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John.
That's just an ambassador to India swearing in ceremony. Again, if that's your friend, you want to be there, that makes sense. She's also a person, and she can decide what she wants to do there. But the point that I'm making is that's a coastal flight that she made to be there to watch a paper get signed. She has also made time for an upcoming CBS News town hall sit down with Barry Weiss, which was filmed today. So ERIKA KIRK has time. She has time. It is just what she means to say, not her priority, which is you are allowed to prioritize things in your own life. But this is not a matter of time constraint. It is not her priority to respond to the majority, actually. The majority of people think of this as BS. The majority of people think Turning Point is acting suspicious. And she does not feel that it is what she wants to do as a matter of priority, responding. Okay, that's fine. Now, to that point that people are making hundreds and thousands of dollars. I just don't get how there's not someone on this very large PR team, as we're seeing these PR campaigns go out, that doesn't go, hey, maybe we should strike that. They made $40 million like 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that feels kind of a little bit like let them eat cake-ish. Oh, and we've made more than separately from Mar-a-Lago. Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know, this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night. So since
Turning Point USA, Turning Point USA, according to Candace, has made over $100 million, which is separate from the $40 million that they made at Mar-a-Lago. But ERIKA KIRK is out here talking about other people making money. I mean, that's a lot of money. $100 million. Oh, buddy.
Charlie has died, that organization has taken in $140 million. But gosh darn you people that are making hundreds of dollars every day on YouTube talking about Charlie Kirk's assassination and the BS narrative that is being fed and the very obvious psychological operation that is being employed to make you accept the BS that they are trying to sell to us. Gosh darn you. Did you make $1,000 today? Speaking about Charlie Kirk, well, you should be ashamed of yourself, says Turning Point USA, who in large part made that money because of those very people who gave to the organization immediately following Charlie Kirk's assassination. And the thing that is especially absurd about that is trying to almost like, I want to be clear that Turning Point USA is my family. The Charlie Kirk show is my family. She's just expanding the wings of people that we're not allowed to critique because they're in the family. If you call them fam, you can't critique them, right? Oh, I'm sorry. We actually are showing a clip of Rob McCoy defending a pedophile or trying to launder reputation of, that's fam. That's the CK show fam. Oh, I'm sorry. We are actually pointing to the fact that we know for certain that this person in your organization is a sexual deviant. That's fam. That's that is my, don't you get me upset. I know that this is a now $150 million in the last 3-month organization, and we employ tons of people, but you can't critique. You can't critique the fam. And I hate to.
Let me pause here for a second. So ERIKA, when they use that family excuse, that family label, like if you call your coworkers, your staff, like your fam, then it's like, it's basically their way of saying, I don't want you to criticize anybody that is a part of Turning Point USA. Guys, I covered a story a couple of days ago, might have been a week or so ago, of a Turning Point USA staffer who was a politician and both TPUSA staffer and a politician who now has a lawsuit against them for kidnapping and sexual harassment. But I guess ERIKA KIRK would say you can't talk about Jeanette because she's fam. You see how that works? Wild things, man.
Say this, but I'm going to be very clear here. This is why there are many people who do not believe that women are equipped to lead companies, because what you are watching here is an unbelievably emotional response that is absent of any logic, okay? If you really care about your team, answer the questions, okay? Just demystify the entire event. Answer, come out, sit down, answer the questions so people don't think Turning Point USA looks so suspicious. Don't try to like mom the organization and say, well, mother's upset because people are coming after her kids and all of this multi-million-dollar subsidiaries. That's my children, okay? The multi-million-dollar subsidiaries, Turning Point, like Turning Point Action, all that, those are my kids. So you can't critique them. Not a good idea, okay? It may work in PR world. You guys, I know how it's an obvious PR campaign. It's never been more obvious of a psychological operation. I actually wish they would put me on payroll so I could help them make these things look more organic than having every single person that has been telling us to stop asking questions all make the exact same video within 4 seconds of each other, being like, whoa, ERIKA KIRK shuts down. No, she didn't even respond to one of the conspiracies. She gave us emotion. She gave us emotion. She said, I'm a mother, I am a wife, and we never asked about whether she was a mother or wife. We want to know if she is a CEO and a chairman. And a CEO and a chairman has to compartmentalize. A CEO and a chairman cannot respond to valid questions and critiques about finances, about shady actions that are being taken by people that require presidential pardons, people that are meaningfully asking why we are not getting a clear answer of what took place on September 10th. A CEO, okay, does not get to respond and say, that's my family.
Woo! The gloves have come off. ERIKA can't seem to separate the two. ERIKA doesn't want to separate the two. ERIKA is doing that to get empathy from the audience, right? Because I know a lot of other women that are employees that are also moms and are also wives. But when people are critiquing their job, they don't stand up and say, I'm a mother. You know, it's just, I don't know what, she can't separate the two, right? And I think that's intentional. I think ERIKA's doing that on purpose. I don't think she wants to separate the two. She wants to get as much empathy from people as possible, I think. So let's go a little bit further, honey buns. You guys ready? Okay. Because ERIKA KIRK was interviewed by Barry Weiss for this town hall. Now, the town hall was recorded. I believe it is going to air this Saturday. I believe that CBS town hall with ERIKA KIRK. Again, they are acting like this is the only woman in America whose husband has been killed. And people are like, well, it's who he was. And yeah, but I mean, come on, man. Like, come on. Wake up, people. Wake up. So she had this town hall with Barry Weiss, and part of it was already published. this one question that Barry Weiss did ask her about Candace Owens, and Candace is responding to that. And of course, Barry Weiss and them did this on purpose. So let's go ahead and get into this one.
By lawyers, but she still is not even convincing, despite having it ahead of time in this delivery. Take a listen.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now? Stop.
So look at the expression on ERIKA's face, right? ERIKA acts like she has no way to contact Candace Owens. So why does it take this town hall to happen and someone to actually like mention Candace's name for ERIKA to go, oh, stop? And look at the anger in her face. This the same woman that stood on the stage and said, I forgive that young man. That's what she said about Tyler Robinson, who I still am not convinced. Still am not convinced is the shooter. But she said she forgive him. But when it come to Candace, oh, stop. Right? So let me tell you how messy Barry Weiss is, and this is intentional. If you notice, Faulkner did not mention Candace's name. She said, how do you feel about some of these conspiracies? But Barry Weiss mentioned her name, and she did that on purpose. There is a reason why Barry Weiss was selected to be the editor-in-chief at CBS News. That is to control the narrative, which is pro-Zionist. That's why she's there. And by the way, for all the white liberals who used to love them some Barry Weiss is removing or demoting a lot of the black employees at CBS News. And she just promoted Tony, the same guy who questioned Ta-Nehisi Coates about his book, The Message. Another Zionist. So this is Barry Weiss being messy, and she's doing that on purpose. Now I want you guys to ask yourself a question. Of all the women in the country who have had their husbands shot, killed, many of them in front of them, do you see any of them being offered a town hall? Think about it, folks. This is all to control the narrative. ERIKA KIRK is doing this television tour to get more empathy and sympathy. Along with this, she is going to push and spread that the left is dangerous, the left is radical. Oh my God, we got to stop the radical Islam. We got to stand up and defend Israel. She's not just there because Charlie Kirk was killed. She's there for a purpose. That's why Barry Weiss has her there. Faulkner, Fox News Faulkner, is married to a Zionist. So everybody needs to follow the breadcrumbs. Let's go on. Look at this. Look at the expression. She seems more angry here than she was when she was asked about Tyler Robinson. And she said, that young man, I forgive him. Lord Jesus.
That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
So this is just, to me, I'm going to also let you know, they pre-recorded this. Obviously, I told you this yesterday from about 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. I have sources just everywhere, CBS News, the people that were in the audience I showed you were emailing me, and they had to do multiple takes because Barry wanted to read a prompter. These questions were pre-submitted, okay? And I would like to respond to this loaded question. What would you like to say? The podcaster Candace Owens, and I'm not even going to address this repeat talking point about people making money, except for the people that have actually made off of all of the money, millions upon millions of dollars. But this is the new thing. It's like if you keep doing what you were already doing in podcasting or keep doing what you were already doing and doing ballistics on YouTube, if you catch a bunch of views, they want to convince you that like you wake up and you turn into a millionaire. Building her business. What are you talking about? I already had this business. I was already at the top of the charts. Okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I actually did because it's so ridiculous. Okay. But she says, I'm lying. And ERIKA responds, and her answer to what do you want to say to the podcaster CANDACE Owens who is lying is stop. So ERIKA would like me to stop lying. And I would like to honor that. Okay. I can only honor that if ERIKA is more explicit in terms of what I have lied about.
That was cold. Because here's the thing, right? ERIKA has not pointed out the so-called lies. Just the word stop. Okay. But she hasn't pointed out the so-called lies. Bari Weiss right now, and watch her, she's sneaky. Bari Weiss, along with others that I've seen online as well, they're going to try to wage this war against CANDACE Owens. That's why Tim Pool's losing his shit, because his money's gone down. His views have gone down. You know, I don't know. Take off the beanie hat. Donate that or something, Tim. I don't know. It was just reported by the police department that they cannot confirm. They have no proof that anyone shot at Tim Pool's residence. That just came out today. Okay? So people are losing it. People are having meltdowns and I can't stand that. Right? They can't take it. But I could understand if Candace started this show after the death of Charlie Kirk. But she started this show after she was fired from the Daily Wire. You guys didn't want her, right? Didn't you guys like boot kick her from Turning Point USA? You guys didn't want her involved anymore. So she went on to do her own thing. And then she ended up doing better on her own. She was growing tremendously before Charlie Kirk died. We were talking about this months ago. Yeah, her growth has increased since then, but stop acting like she had like 5,000 subscribers and all of a sudden got to 100,000. That's the part that's really weird. So there's that. But I feel like ERIKA ain't really got no room to talk when she out here making money herself right now. You out here selling books. She was on Sean Hannity. She was on Faulkner's show. She just sat down with Bari Weiss. I mean, come on. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But you're going to see more of this. People just lashing out, and more people are going to come in and come after Candace because she's growing and she's doing well, and they're not. They're taking a hit. Ay, ay, ay.
What did I lie about? It's just incredible. There have this opportunity. The questions have been before. You could just start like going through them. Maybe they will. By the way, it's coming out on Saturday. Maybe I've made a mistake somewhere and I'm happy. I want to correct that, right? I'm not interested. My goal is not to tell lies. It is obviously plausible that I have made mistakes. I've reviewed these lists that we've put together and I can't find the lie. Okay. The lies that I find are coming out of Turning Point USA. Okay. And here are some of those lies. You know, Mikey had blood all over him. Okay. Mikey has offered that his dad was confused. I'll accept that. Well, I didn't lie about that. Rob McCoy lied. His father also said he called his father first. Maybe Rob McCoy was confused. Mikey being a hero for walking away doesn't feel honest. Charlie's neck stopping a 30-06 bullet because he ate healthy and had strong bones. It was a modern day Christian miracle. That feels like a pretty big lie. Okay. Charlie never wavered in his support for Israel was a nasty lie. Maybe Bari wanted to like, what do you want to say to the people that literally lied about what Charlie was living through in the last weeks of his life? Stop, Josh Hammer. Stop, Bibi Netanyahu. No, I'm sorry. Bari Weiss is here. We're not going to get to that. Charlie was a committed evangelical who only liked Catholic architecture. Did I lie about that? Nope. Turning Point USA lied about that. And I was attacked for telling me, I'm attacked for catching the lies. We'll get to that later. That's their new method. Once first they accuse me of lying, then I prove I'm not lying. And then their strategy is to attack me for telling the truth and saying, how dare you reveal a personal text message to defend yourself from being called a liar. We can keep going here. Has any of this been clarified? Ben Shapiro said they never had any bad blood between them. I proved that that was not true. Again, that also came from a little PR, Alex Clark pulling that move. Next page, Terrell Farnsworth was told to remove that SD card by police. That was not true. Terrell Farnsworth personally told me that that was not true. Terrell removed the SD cards because people were stealing hats. Again, not what Terrell Farnsworth himself told me. And also doesn't make any logical sense, because if you were worried about theft, you would have taken the cameras and not just the SD card, particularly from the camera behind his head, as opposed to the cameras that were in front of him. Lie. Charlie established a Doge and it was not unusual. That's a lie. It was unusual. Doge didn't even exist prior to Elon Musk making that a thing about government accountability. Charlie Kirk's team did not fly drones. Major lie. Brian Harpole told that lie. Brian Harpole also told a major lie when he said that the security had communicated with UVU police to secure those rooftops. That was a lie. It was actually
somebody made a list. So Candace has been keeping a list of all the lies that Turning Point USA has told. But ERIKA KIRK still hasn't said what is the lie that you take issue with. Like what is the alleged lie? ERIKA hasn't said that. She just looks at the camera and just says, stop.
Actually the walkway behind. What am I getting here? What have I done here in this presentation that I lied about? Have I made mistakes along the way? Yes, I'm not perfect, and I will always adjust those mistakes. So I'm asking you to tell me what I lied about. Why is there not this same energy also for the feds? Because they've told some lies. We've got a list of those too. We put that together. We would like some clarity. Again, Charlie being shot with a 30-06. The lover text messages mysteriously presented without any timestamps.
I'm just going to add this part here, what I've been saying for quite some time, and I think you guys see it too. The fact that ERIKA even believes the narrative from the FBI should give everyone pause. Because any of us that saw what the FBI said, all of us were like, we have questions. It didn't make any sense. Hell, my dad didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was until this happened. And even my dad was like, yeah, definitely don't believe what the FBI is saying. I mean, it's just, so the fact that ERIKA believes the official narrative from the FBI, what does that tell you about ERIKA KIRK? When everybody else out here with a brain and eyes are able to see that there are things that were missing from the report from the FBI. There were holes in this completely. They lied and said, oh yeah, he was on the roof and we don't see any video footage with this guy with this gun in his hand on the roof. Then we come to find out that you can't even disassemble that weapon quickly, that it takes a long amount of time to do so. And we're supposed to believe that's supposed to be the same weapon, right? So most people I know don't agree with the official FBI narrative. He was ERIKA KIRK's husband. Why does she believe it? That's the question people need to ask. Because I don't know. If you ask me, she stepped up right up mighty quickly to start taking over Turning Point USA and doing all these interviews. And let me get out here and sell this book. And then when you look at her history and you see that she's been on reality TV, she knows how to act. She was a pageant girl. Then you look into the organization in Romania and you look into her parents and like what they did. Now, she can't help what her parents did, but I'm just saying all these things together don't sound good. I mean, her mom worked for Homeland Security. Pop was working over there helping Israel. So put all these things together. It's wild to me, fam.
Lying about how Tyler Robinson was arrested. They claim that he confessed and turned himself in. That's not what happened. That he said he was guilty. All of his, father said he was guilty. That's not what happened. Never revealed that Tyler Robinson was at the Dairy Queen following the assassination. He was throwing clothes away, as I presented to you guys, in the cemetery. That's problematic to the timeline. We'd like some clarity. That's an oddity. They said Tyler Robinson was arrested wearing a maroon shirt. That actually was also not true. they said Tyler Robinson was suicidal, but also turned himself in because he was afraid of being shot by police. Those two ideas seem to be running into each other. How can both of these things be true? Did he want to die or not want to die? Maybe there's an explanation. It's definitely odd. And the footage mysteriously missing of Tyler Robinson turning himself in. And then, of course, there's just like things that we can't get answers to, which is the Egyptian planes, tracking Charlie, following ERIKA throughout years. Instead, they're laughing at these things. So what am I lying about? Explicitly lying about? Not made a molecular or a minor mistake. We got a time zone wrong. And then it's like, she lied. The plane left a couple of hours earlier. Maybe somewhere I made a mistake on a timeline of Charlie being here on this day when he's actually there on that day. But I'm talking like, where am I lying? Because I would like to stop if you can tell me. Okay. And maybe they will. Maybe we'll get to that on Saturday. And by the way, to be clear, I am also telling the truth. It is not my opinion that these questions were pre-selected. It's a fact. It's a fact. Like I said, we have insiders. The questions were pre-selected. And one of the pre-selected questions was for ERIKA, and this will come out on Saturday, setting the stage for her to condemn anti-Semitism, to which she responds and speaks about, as I told you yesterday, how Turning Point will be hosting a Shabbat dinner. And in case the direction of travel for CBS under the stewardship of Barry Weiss is not clear, they even brought in during this town hall the father of the young woman who was shot in DC at the Jewish Museum. I think that was an IDF soldier. I might be wrong about that. They also brought out Hunter Kozak, who asked the last question to Charlie Kirk. They filled the audience with people selected by CBS, college Republicans, with questions selected by CBS. So
this is a thing. This also happens during these like the politician town halls. They do this as well. Like these random people that they select in the audience and they say, oh, we have a question from sabrinasalvati, who is a student at such and such. Yeah, that shit ain't random. Them people selected ahead of time. The questions are chosen ahead of time. They want the viewers to think it's random, but it's not. The people that they have in these town halls are selected ahead of time. It's not something you just show up and attend. So Candace is basically giving everybody the heads up before that town hall airs. And I believe it's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday is the day that the town hall is going to air. So she's just letting you guys know. So she also said one of the things they're trying to get ERIKA to do, I guess, during that town hall is also to come forward about condemning anti-Semitism and I guess how Turning Point USA is going to be involved in all of that. So do you see what I was saying? This is why Barry Weiss was given that position. This isn't just about Charlie Kirk. This is about a greater mission for Barry Weiss, and that is the pro-Zionist mission. And she's going to try to do whatever she can to get Turning Point USA on board with that mission, because a lot of the younger people are saying, no, we don't want to support Israel. And that seems to be a problem. And here's another damn question I want you guys to ask yourself. What happens to Turning Point USA after Trump's presidency ends? Because remember, Turning Point USA, like to be honest, it really kind of kicked off during the first Trump election. So what happens to Turning Point USA once Donald Trump is not running for president again? He ran in 2016, ran in 2020, ran for re-election in 2020, and ran in 2024. What happens to that machine? So I think they're already trying to set the stage for something else, something bigger, something greater. Some people say, well, maybe they'll start making, J.D. Vance a part of it, or the next, Republican candidate that they want to get behind. But I don't know, man. It was kind of born about during that Trump era. So what happens to Turning Point USA after Trump's final term? So I think they're trying to find other ways right now to make money. So don't be surprised if they go in even harder and stronger with the Israel message.
Oh, it just is objectively a controlled and a managed situation. controlled and a managed conversation, if you will. But, and you can predict this, if you are at home this Saturday and you watch this and you're just, you know, a regular old person around the world and you go, this feels really scripted. The influencers are going to come out and they're going to mark you as evil, demonic even. How dare you? Question, what? Are you kidding me? This is like, you're not allowed to say that this feels scripted ever, even though this entire thing since September 10th feels scripted to me. But that's not it. Okay, we're going to get more because ERIKA also sat down with Glenn Beck of Blaze TV. Now, again, this is all a part of a PR blitz for Charlie's upcoming book on honoring the Shabbat, which I'm not going to be doing because I'm Christian. So I'd like to already just say no. Okay. Anyways, Glenn Beck's interview has a bunch of high points, if you will. Foremost, ERIKA stressing that she believes that the truth is clear. Take a listen.
I don't know how you handle this, Eric. I don't know how to be dragged into, you know, you were involved in the death and all this crazy, evil stuff.
No, it's sick.
God bless you.
It's sick.
God bless you. It is.
My family means everything to me. Turning Point USA has always been in our life and has always been so good to Charlie, and Charlie was good to his team. Everyone.
But remember, when she says family, she's not just talking about her immediate family. She's also talking about Turning Point USA. Remember, she already made that clear. So everybody needs to catch that.
Loved Charlie.
Yeah.
I get that. Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Yeah.
The truth
You know,
is very clear.
So I just want to say to, first and foremost, Glenn setting that question up, I can't find to this day, because this just feels to me to be like the ultimate straw man, any commentator that has explicitly accused ERIKA of killing Charlie Kirk. I've seen psychological manipulation of influencers trying to say that if you critique Turning Point, that's akin to accusing Charlie Kirk of ERIKA Kirk of killing her husband, which is utterly ridiculous. But I have never seen, and maybe I missed it, I've seen a lot, somebody come out and say ERIKA Kirk murdered Charlie. But that's what they set up always, which is like, I don't know how you are. I've seen people digging into her background. I've seen people speaking about her Romanian charity. I've seen people looking into her mother, all of that. I've seen all of that, but I have not yet seen where this idea that they keep trying to seed into our minds that asking any questions is equivalent to accusing her of murder.
Yeah, that part, I haven't seen podcasters or commentators do that either. But you see how where they're taking this now? You see how far they're trying to take it? Like, oh my God, these people, they're saying that you murdered your own husband. But I haven't seen any podcasters say that. Again, she talking about people trying to make money, but here she is selling a book.
We're human.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's 31 years old. And that's way more profound than I think anything I could say.
He did not just write this book, he lived it. So when you feel something so deeply and you've experienced it and you lived it, you want to be able to tell other people, look, this will change your life. I know it might sound simple, but sometimes the best answers are the most simple ones.
Sounds just like a salesman, doesn't she? Like, it's just like, this might change your life. Even this sounds scripted. I feel like you're trying to sell me. You're the person that knocked on my door and tried to sell me them damn calculators that didn't even work half the time anyway. That's what I feel like I am witnessing and entertaining. That's what's happening in front of me. It's the people that knock on the door and say, this is going to change your life. Or the people that used to sell the vacuums door to door. Get this vacuum, everything will change. Oh my God.
Truth. And he, again, our whole team knew on days where he didn't get a full Sabbath and did, because he just was so locked in, and he he just, again, was the most incredible man, but this just took him to a whole new level. And it was in a way where you would look at him and be like, whatever you're doing, I want to do. And he's like, here. And this is his final message. This is what I'm trying to express to people. This is Charlie's last book. So people can write books all about my husband and what he believed and what he said and analyze his videos. These are his words. And when you read them, you feel him come to life. It's powerful.
It is very powerful. And it really caused me, as I read it, again, I read the whole thing, and
I'll be honest, I
absorbed.
can't read the last few pages. I'm not there yet. It's just emotionally, because
I
once this
understand.
book is done, it's done.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thinks we should all mourn a certain way.
Right.
Okay. Well, until you walk a mile.
I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't know what to tell you. Salesman. The sales tactic. And then there's one more here that I want to show you, because this is getting very weird. Now, ERIKA doesn't understand why people are asking questions. She wants people to just let this go. She believes the official narrative from the FBI. But Tyler Robinson was in court Thursday morning. Tyler Robinson's parents were removed by the judge from the hearing. I want you guys to see this for yourself. Shout out to Project Constitution who shared this. The judge in Tyler Robinson's case just ordered today's hearing closed to the public. Tyler Robinson's parents were banned from watching their own son's hearing. I'm going to show it to you right here, guys. This is wild. Watch.
All right. Before this meeting goes down second, the Honorable Tony F. Grant Jr. presides.
Please be seated. So as we begin, the first part is we'll begin by addressing the October 14th audio recording and the October 24th transcript. This portion of the hearing will be closed so that I may hear from the parties regarding which portions of the recording, the record should remain sealed. All members of the public and the press will be excused, and the hearing will not be broadcast. This is because I need to hear what should or should not be sealed or protected, and it would not benefit to have everyone listen to what should be sealed. And so after I've heard argument, we will invite all parties or the public and the media to come back in, and the hearing will resume transmission. We will then take up the motion for limited intervention, followed by the state's motion to amend or clarify the publicity order. These portions, the last two portions, will be open to the public and to the press. After hearing argument on all three matters, I will take a brief recess and then return to issue my ruling today. We will then stand in recess. So at this point, we'll go ahead and excuse the public and the media, and it is the court's order that transmission be terminated temporarily.
Your Honor, we have one request with respect to the closed hearing. May I be heard on that?
Yes, counsel.
Thank you. Richard Novak for Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson has some immediate family members who are present, his father, his mother, and his brother. And we would ask the court to permit them to remain in the courtroom during the closed portion of the hearing.
To the state.
My only concern with that, Your Honor, is that we're going to be talking about court security measures. And I don't know that we'll have to go into a lot of detail about that, but I do have concerns about those issues being discussed in public.
All right. Mr. Novak, do you have authority that supports allowing them to remain in a closed hearing?
No, I think it's subject to the court's discretion to decide who is and is not an appropriate member of the public. I think they have a unique relationship with Mr. Robinson, and they would certainly abide by any orders the court makes concerning disclosure of what is discussed in closed session, but obviously it's up to the court.
It is up to the court. So I understand what he's saying about it being, but those are his parents. So watch this.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. I'm going to rule that they will be excluded as well. It is just given the nature and the sensitivity of it, I believe it is appropriate to treat all parties in the public equally, though I do recognize their relationship with Mr. Robinson. Thank you for your request.
So it's already begun. And this is why people have questions. And this is why people are like, yo, what is this? What's happening? I understand that's just a hearing, but at the same time, that's not just the public. Like, those are his parents. So why can't they be there? He's like, oh, because of security measures, you know? So it's very weird. First of all, this is the first time I've seen Tyler Robinson in quite some time. This is my first time seeing like his, you know, hearing about the parents more so now. But get ready, folks, because just like the Luigi Mangione trial, this one's going to be another doozy. And ERIKA, I wanted to play that so that you guys understand. When ERIKA sits up there and she says, like, she believes the narrative from the FBI, she doesn't want you to question things like what I just showed you, that they wanted they getting the parents out of the hearing. She doesn't want to question those things. She's like, just believe the official FBI narrative that came from Kash Patel, who has shown us multiple times that he does not know how to do his job. So we are now seeing this fired upness from ERIKA and CANDACE. And I was wondering if this was going to happen. And now it has reached that point. So where does it go here? I don't know. I would imagine that after that town hall is released over the weekend, there's probably going to be more that needs to be said. But Barry Weiss and all of them right now, they trying to stir it. They trying to make it, you know, they're basically trying to get as many people to attack Candace as possible. That's why Barry Weiss asked her that question. And that's why Barry Weiss said Candace's name. But ERIKA, to me, again, like I said, she's sketchy, she's shady, but at the same time, this is something that she could do privately. She could have reached out to Candace already by now if she really wanted to. It's not like she knows no way to reach. She could have done that already. Doesn't want to. So buckle up, folks. It's only going to get messier from here. After that town hall, it's only going to get messier from here. We are going to do call in tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I know we didn't get to do it about a week, 2 weeks maybe, but we're going to do call in tonight. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break and I'll be back.
Like pent up call in, huh?
Yeah.
All right. But we're all family, right? There you go. Yeah. I mean, I think with the Tyler Robinson case too, like the default should be to have basically everything be transparent and broadcast, you know, and I feel like that's like one problem in this, in that, you know, we almost have this default that, you know, oh, something should be excluded and it might taint the, you know, it might influence the jury and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, we need some care for that, but there's also a large public interest, you know, so I think, you know, barring extreme circumstances, just everything should be recorded and broadcast and out in the open. If you make that the default, then I think these decisions may come down differently. Anyways, yeah, so this is a part of the show. I hop in here from the background to the foreground. Eric T. Red here, and Sabrina's right now taking a little break, and then she's creating the Zoom hangout room. We used to call it call-in because it used to be on the call-in app, but the call-in app is now a distant memory, but we do it on Zoom. That works well. You can have your camera on or off. It's optional. You can just hang out and listen in, you know, or you can raise your virtual hand in Zoom with the raise hand button and tell us what you think, because we want to hear from you. You think about any of the stories that we covered tonight, or about, well, anything you want. And oh yeah, and we'll be giving you the link for that shortly. Like Sabrina's actually creating the Zoom room probably as we speak. But I also wanted to just hit on quickly here. Sorry, just hitting the right buttons. There we go. Yeah, well, one of the stories that just hit was, of course, Trump decided to grab a what do you call it, an oil tanker boat, because it's how Trump runs, and some of the good, a couple of good commentary on Twitter X, as we call it. This is one from Wyatt Reed and from the Gray Zone crew. Of course, shout out to the Gray Zone. Make sure you're following them and watching them. But Wyatt said, yesterday, Trump condemned Somalia as dirty, disgusting, and ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships. We actually heard Trump say that in the earlier video. And then Wyatt notes, yeah, there's another country that matches that description pretty well too. And then he's linking to the video that I think the U.S. Pan bombed. I think the U.S. government posted about them boarding the ship. And I mean, what I thought was pretty funny was this was a pretty lame boarding. Like these guys rappelling, like they're repelling like 8 feet. It's like, I mean, I thought when I heard this, I thought these guys were going to be coming from like way up high and dangerously coming down the rope. But anyways, yeah, great job taking over a ship with no military capability. Impressive. And then the other one I just wanted to highlight was Max Blumenthal, who you should also be following, of course, who noted the U.S. regime has carried out piracy and theft against designated enemies under Democratic and Republican administrations. And I like this one because anytime you call out Trump, you really should also make a point of saying it's not just Trump. Biden is as bad in a different way. In his Max notes, Biden's goons stole a plane belonging to Venezuela. Before that, Trump stole Citgo from Venezuela. Washington normalizes these crimes through universal. Washington normalizes these crimes through universal. I screwed it up again. Washington normalizes these crimes through unilateral sanctions, and yeah, and then he notes it back to this was a while back. Yeah, this was 2024 when Biden was still in charge, and Biden just ordered them to just grab Maduro's plane. So the point is, we're dealing with corrupt government, whether it's red or blue party, and we need to fix the corrupt government is what we need to be doing here. And the other thing I need to be doing is reading out some of these super chats before we switch over to the Zoom Hangout. See what we got in the queue. Thanks for this one, Mountain Star Studio, who says, one thing, trust the Just Us judicial system, TP fam. And thanks for the super chat, Simon, who says, Queen of the Internet, the great Candace Owens. All right. Well, I mean, I'll say that, both sides of that fight are certainly making a show of it. And, I think they're both making bank from that Dog and Pony show. And thanks for the super chat, Nicole Smith, who says, Erica girl, where's your BF JD? And let's see what else we got in here. Thanks for this one, Veronica. Erica, I want privacy. Violins. Also, Erica films herself fake crying over her dead husband's body. Yeah, I actually hadn't seen that video till tonight. And yeah, that was something. Thanks for this super chat. Abe the Hunter, who says, there was like, make video hair messed up. Okay, scene. And thanks for this one, Libertarian Social Democrat, who says, as Sabby says, Erica is fakety fake, LOL. And thanks for this one, Rachel, who says, EK looking for a new husband named JD. Yeah, I remember that one from the other day. And thanks for the super chat, Fuzzy Balls, who says, Barry Weiss cringes every time she hears the name Tulsi Gabbard. Clearly, Tulsi was right about Syria, and Barry Weiss is a Netanyahu toady. And to quote Barry Weiss, what is a toady? after she used the word 5 times. And thanks for this one, Libertarian Social Democrat. Harris Faulkner, Tatum, and Alex Karp are spoons. Yes, yes. And thanks for this one, Fuzzy Balls. Republicans and Democrats are standing in the way of American greatness. They'll always sell us out 100 times out of 100 times. The uniparty destroys. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. And, and I would just say, also, yeah, it's about the corruption as well as parties, and it's up to us to come together in some fashion behind clear demands to fix this mess. And thanks for this one, Fuzzy Balls. ERIKA KIRK selling Amway. And thanks for this one, Mrs. Richie Blackmore. Charlie was nothing more than a means to an end to TPUSA and his fake wife. He still is, even in death. Candace is the only one who really cared for him. And thanks for the super sticker, JFC. Appreciate that. And thanks for this super chat, Abdullah, who said, will Tom Artyom Alexander face justice? Was that kid in that story? Yeah, I think that was. Do you know? Anyways.
No, that's not the same person.
Oh, do you know who this is?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, well, then it's a good question. Thanks for the super chat. And thanks for the super chat. The amazing Mikey McCoy, who says Charlie was electrocuted. All right, do you want to hit the Roger on the rock fins? And then we'll head on over to Call-in Land, Zoom Hangout Call-in Land.
All right. Thank you for the tip, Roger, on Rockfin. They were all okay with Candy profiting off of her throwing FBA under the bus. This is karmic. Y'all created this monster. Now you got to deal with her. Well, I think you're muted, Eric. All right. Yeah, I think you were muted. Yeah, you're muted.
Okay. I'm just trying to launch Zoom at the same time here.
All right, guys, we are going to head over to the call-in portion of the show. And let me go ahead and open it here.
Let's
see. So it is pinned at the very top of the chat. You should see a pin there that says Sabby After Dark. That's the call-in link. So I'm going to open it while I'm on the show to make sure that people can get into the room. We don't usually have an issue with this, but just making sure. All right. So the room is open, ladies and gents, and people are coming in. All I ask is that when you join the call-in room, please make sure that you mute your mic, if you can do that for me. And then also, if you want to speak, the way that this works is at the very bottom of the screen, there's an option to raise your hand on Zoom. Just click on that, and that lets me know that you want to speak. And so I know to call on you. So that's how that's going to work. I think we have one more super chat, and then I'll go ahead and start the call in. Thank you, Ani, for the super chat. Please Google Tom Artyom Alexandrovich. He is a PDF file. Okay, I will look him up. Thank you. Thank you. All right, ladies and gents, but people are already in the call-in room. If you come into the stream a little bit later, you can
I'm not
also
sure it's set up yet, but we'll get it set up if it's not working now.
Set up what? I'm sorry.
SabbySabs2.com.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
If it doesn't work now, it'll work in a few minutes.
Yeah, you can get that link at sabbysabs2.com as well. Other than that, I will see you guys in the call-in. All right. Okay, guys, that is it for me. I will be live again on Sunday evening. We do have one of the candidates that is represented by AzaPac. That is the PAC that is trying to fight to take down APAC, Kufi, and J Street. He will be on the show. He is running against Randy Fine, that crazy nut job. So stay tuned for that Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, guys, have a good night.
Can you make me co-host in Zoom?
Oh yeah. Sorry, let me do that.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Let me go ahead and make you a co-host. All right. Other than that, guys, have a good night and keep up the fight.